In this video we are going to start our discussion on Doppler and Rh negative pregnancy. So first let us start with the Doppler of uterine artery. So if you remember, in the previous videos I already discussed about the Doppler of uterine artery, which is mainly used in PIH, that is pregnancy induced hypertension, right? So now let us see what is going today in this video. Doppler of uterine artery, the main role is to predict the PIH in a pregnant female. So the normal thing which you see in a Doppler is a diastolic notch, which actually disappears in a normal pregnancy by 22 to 24 weeks of pregnancy. So let me draw what is that diastolic notch. So this is a systole and this is a diastole. In diastole you will see a notch like this. So this notch which you see in a diastole is normal till 22 to 24 weeks of pregnancy. This is important. This is systole, this is diastole, and you can see this is a notch. So this is a diastolic notch which is common till 22 to 24 weeks of pregnancy, but after greater than 24 weeks of pregnancy this diastolic notch is abnormal. Okay, so abnormal, the diastolic notch which is persisting beyond the 24 weeks is abnormal. So what is the significance of this? It indicates that in future, due to this, the patient will have PIH. So what it says is actually this diastolic notch, if it is present beyond 24 weeks, then it is indicating PIH in this pregnant female. Okay, so this is important. So Doppler uterine artery, for uterine artery Doppler is mainly used to predict PIH. Till this diastolic notch is common till 22 to 24 weeks, but later than 24 weeks if this is present, this is an abnormal case which indicates that there is a chance of PIH in this female. So done with it. Now let us discuss about Doppler in umbilical artery. So we have done with uterine artery, now with umbilical artery. So what umbilical artery says? Actually there is a forward flow. Here there is forward flow in umbilical artery, forward flow. Okay, so what is the normal graph? Let me draw it. So it would be like this. The graph will look like this, like some mountains, right? So this is the systolic flow, this is the diastolic flow here. Okay, this is systole, this is diastole here. Okay, so now let us understand this, what it is going to say. So as the period of gestation increases, the resistance of blood vessel decreases. So what they are saying, as the pregnancy time, period of gestation increases, the resistance of blood vessels decreases. If the resistance is decreasing, resistance is the force which is coming, right? If the force is decreasing, then more blood flow, right? So it will lead to no diastolic flow increases. So that's why I can say here the diastolic flow increases because there is low resistance in which is seen in umbilical artery, which you need to remember. So in a normal pregnancy, the S by D means systolic by diastolic ratio decreases. Always remember, to this diastolic blood flow, this S by D ratio is inversely proportional. So diastolic blood flow, S by D ratio is inversely proportional, because if the diastolic blood flow increases, S by D decreases. If diastolic blood flow decreases, S by D increases. So now here you can see in this umbilical artery Doppler, the diastolic flow is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because there is low resistance in the umbilical artery. So because of this, the S by D ratio will decrease because they are inversely proportional. And that decreases will be less than 3. That decreases less than 3 as it is progressing. So in the case of uteroplacental insufficiency or pregnancy induced hypertension, the pressure increases. So as the pressure increases, the peripheral vascular resistance increases. So the amount of blood which is flowing into the diastole decreases. So in that case, so in the above case as we had in uterine Doppler, in the case of PIH, actually what happens is, so let me write down here. In the case of PIH, the resistance is more, the peripheral vascular resistance is more. When the resistance is more, there is low diastolic blood flow. When there is low diastolic blood flow, I already said this is inversely proportional to S by D. So S by D increases in this case, that is greater than 3, right? So this is very important to see regarding PIH or uteroplacental insufficiency. Okay, whereas in a umbilical artery Doppler, you will see that the diastolic flow is increased and the S/D ratio is decreased. Now coming to another one, that is absent end diastolic flow. So what is this? Absent end diastolic flow. Here the graph will be just like this. You can see the end diastolic flow is absent completely here. So that's why it is absent end diastolic flow. And this is divided into two types, that is in the period of gestation, if it is less than 34 weeks or greater than 34 weeks. So in the period of gestation, if this end diastolic flow is absent in less than 34 weeks, then we give steroids first. Why we give steroids? Because we see the fetal lung should mature first, right? So for the sake of fetal lung maturity, we give steroids. Fetal lung maturity, okay, we give first steroids. Next we give frequent fetal monitoring. Why? Because we need to see that whether the lungs are developed or not. But in the case of greater than 34 weeks, we directly terminate the pregnancy, because you can see there is no end diastolic flow, even though still the gestational age is greater than 34. Okay, so now let's see another one, that is reversed end diastolic flow. So what is this reverse end diastolic flow? Here what happens is the graph looks like this. So you can see this is the reverse one. Actually here what happened is the diastolic flow is getting reversed. You know, normally in the diastolic flow from the ventricle the blood goes into the artery. Here now what happens, from the artery the blood is coming back to the ventricle again, that is back to the heart again. So that's why there is this graph here reversed. So reverse end diastolic flow, if it is less than 32 weeks, again here also you give steroids, and here also you do frequent fetal monitoring, and next followed by magnesium sulfate. Why you are giving magnesium sulfate here? Because for the sake of neuroprotection. So for the neuroprotection, in the case of reverse end diastolic flow, we are giving magnesium sulfate for the fetus. Remember, you are giving here magnesium sulfate for fetus. And if greater than 32 weeks, here also you are going to terminate the pregnancy. So in the case of absent end diastolic flow greater than 34 weeks, you are doing termination of pregnancy. In the case of reverse end diastolic flow greater than 32 weeks, you are doing termination of pregnancy. So this is very important, which you need to see. Now coming to the mode of delivery in the patients with absent end diastolic flow or reverse end diastolic flow. So in this both cases, clearly you can see in this both cases we need to do only C-section or cesarean section we need to do. Okay, this will be the mode of delivery. And anesthesia which we use in this both cases is general anesthesia. About this we already discussed in the previous videos already. So now coming to Doppler of middle cerebral artery. Okay, middle cerebral artery. So we have done till now two Dopplers already. One is the uterine artery, next is umbilical artery. Now we are going to see the middle cerebral artery. Okay, so it is done especially in two cases, that is in the case of fetal anemia, in the case of fetal anemia, and in the case of IUGR, that is intrauterine growth restriction, where especially what are the parameters, let us see. In the fetal anemia, the parameters you see is PSV. So what is this PSV? That is a peak systolic velocity. So in fetal anemia you will see peak systolic velocity. In IUGR you will see end diastolic flow and pulsatile index. So these are seen in the middle cerebral artery Doppler. So in the case of fetal anemia, the most common Doppler, in the case of fetal anemia, the Doppler which we do is middle cerebral artery Doppler, where you will see the PSV, that is the, what is PSV? That is peak systolic velocity, right? Peak systolic velocity. So if the fetal is having anemia, then this peak systolic velocity increases. So how it will increase? Let me show. Normally the diagram will be like this. Okay, but in the case of peak systolic flow it will be like this. This peak you need to see. So the peak is increasing. So the peak systolic velocity is increasing in the case of fetal anemia. So that one you will observe. And next coming to, if PSV of MCI increases by, that it increases by greater than or equal to 1.5 mom. What is a mom here? That is a multiple of meridian. Multiple of meridian. So if it is greater than 1.5 multiple of meridian, you can say there is significant anemia. Okay. So in what conditions you will see this rise in PSV? Okay, that is peak systolic velocity. It is seen especially in the case of, first one is fetal anemia, as we already discussed in the beginning, and the next one is twin to twin transfusion syndrome, and the other one is twin anemia polycythemia sequence. In this also we will see this, and the other one is parvovirus B19. So parvovirus B19 infection and Rh isoimmunization. Okay, and the next one is vasa previa, that is the bleeding from the fetus. So in all these cases you will see the peak systolic velocities increase. So now coming to middle cerebral artery, it is normally, it's a high resistant artery. You can understand when it is high resistant artery, then low blood will come, right, with hardly any flow during diastole. So low diastolic flow will be there, normal case. But in the case of hypoxia or intrauterine growth restriction, there is redistribution of blood. Why there is redistribution of blood? Because already there is intrauterine growth and the fetus know that the main organ to which it should supply is brain. So all of the redistribution blood will reach the brain. So what happens now is, because of this more blood is going to brain, so the resistance is decreasing in the MCA, that is the middle cerebral artery. So because of that there is more blood flow in diastole. So this is very important. Now what I am going to say is, you need to see that especially in the case of intrauterine growth restriction or hypoxia, only in middle cerebral artery you will see there is more blood flow in diastole. But coming to uterine artery, umbilical artery, there you will not see this, because there are very high resistance arteries, so there will be low blood flow, low diastolic blood flow. But here, as the blood is getting redistributed into the brain, so that's why especially in the middle cerebral artery, because it is in the brain, right? So only in this artery you will see, especially in IUGR, there is increased blood flow in diastole also. So there, because of this, there is also increase in diastolic flow in hypoxia and increase pulsatile index. Okay, so increase pulsatile index also. So how the graph looks, now let us draw. As I said already, it would be like this, that is normal waveform, low diastolic velocity. But whenever there is fetal hypoxia or IUGR, you will see there is high diastolic blood flow. Okay, now coming to in fetal hypoxia or IUGR, the coming to S/D ratio in MCA, as we can see here, the diastolic blood flow is increased, so S/D ratio will decrease, whereas S/D ratio is increased in umbilical artery, because I just now said in umbilical artery it will not change, only in middle cerebral artery it will change. Now coming to the Doppler, which is preferred for assessing UPI. Now let us see different questions. What Doppler to use for what? For UPI, that is uteroplacental insufficiency. So what Doppler you'll use? You'll use umbilical artery Doppler. And next coming to for redistribution, just now I said they use MCA, that is middle cerebral artery Doppler. And for fetal anemia also you will use MCA, middle cerebral artery Doppler. For cardiac failure you use ductus venosus. Okay, ductus venosus Dopplers. Of course we are not discussed about this, remember this. And coming to IUGR, that is intrauterine growth restriction, the best way to assess this is of course Doppler. And the first change is AFI, that is amniotic fluid index will change, and umbilical artery Doppler is used first. And the second change is you use MCA, because in intrauterine growth restriction, first you should see the umbilical artery, Next only you should see the middle cerebral artery, because in the beginning itself the blood will not redistribute, right? So that's why first you will do umbilical artery, and also you will see the amniotic fluid index, and next you will see MCA, that is middle cerebral artery. So by this we have completed about Doppler. Next we'll start with Rh negative pregnancy in another part video.